Hey guys, this is my IADT video. My topic for today is going to be over cage fighting. What I'm going to try to discuss with you today, of course, just kind to explain the sport of cage fighting, let you know some of my likes, dislikes, also go into the rules and some of the can and cannots. Also let you know the different divisions of weight classes they have. And go a little bit into the training, like the diet, the vitamins, the discipline, and the exercise that are involved in getting ready for the sport. And then in conclusion, I want to let you know what cage fighting brought into my life and why I had to quit. Like I said, my name is Armando Cavazos. I myself was involved in cage fighting for about a year and a half. I was involved in the form of they call MMA, which has rules and guidelines. Unlike there are some other forms of cage fighting, you've got like brawling, you've got bare knuckle cage fighting, and then you have some of the side fighting that you might see on YouTube as well, where backyard brawls type deal. As far as MMA, it's been around for about 23 years. It's what they call a mixed martial arts sport. Basically, it's ranging from martial arts like jiu-jitsu, Thai, also has wrestling, things like that, and all the little in-betweens. The reason why they call it a mixed martial arts is because normally fighters in the sport have more than one art. You might have some that might have jiu-jitsu with a wrestling background, or vice versa. Some of my likes, or actually one of my likes about the sport and why I got into it, is I like the fact that it has rules and then the manner of the sport. In MMA, of course you have the rules, and also too, it's like boxing. I mean, you have gloves that you have to put on, mouthpiece. They check you, make sure you don't have anything that could, on you that you could use to injure the other person. The dislikes about the sport is, like I mentioned earlier, the branches off of MMA. You got your bare knuckle brawling, or your backyard fighting, things like that. Those forms, I feel are a little more brutal than the MMA. So that's what I kind of dislike about the sport, is that they've got so many branches off of the sport. As far as the rules in regards to MMA or cage fighting, you've got 3 judges. They score you on a bout with what they call a 10-point must system, which they grade you from 1 to 10. Basically what they score you on is aggression, effective striking, grappling, and cage control, which means cage control is how you control your opponent in the cage. You've got him basically doing what you want. You're not the one running, you're the one chasing. The grappling, of course, getting in there, getting together with him, controlling, what you're getting done. Effective striking, meaning, how many clean blows that you get, not something that, he puts his hands up and he blocks it, you're getting it in there and you striking him. And aggression, just how you are in the cage. You're not just sitting around letting him come to you. You're moving around, you're going at him, you're wanting to get the fight started and get something going. Normally the rounds you normally have 3 rounds in a regular bout, and they last about 2 minutes per round. Of course, if it's a championship bout, then you're going to have 5 rounds, and they're going to be about 3 minutes apiece. Some of the ways you can win the bout, you've got 4 ways, I should say. The first one is going to be a knockout, or what they call a technical knockout. Basically, it says, for itself, you knock your opponent out. The next way you could win is going to be by what they call a tap out, or a vertical submission, or a verbal submission. What that is if your opponent taps out, he's tapping on the ground saying he doesn't want anymore. And the verbal is if he verbally says something like, okay, no more, no more, no more, then the ref's going to stop it. And speaking about the ref, would be the third way that you can win is either with the doctor that's on site or the referee, which means that if they do something as far as like you got a cut across your eye, your forehead, your eye is swelling shut, you've got bleeding coming out of your ear, something of that manner, they might stop the fight, which would allow you to win. And then of course the last one, kind of like boxing, you have the judge's decision, where on that 10-point must system, after the 3 rounds they add up all the points in each judge, and since there's what, 3 judges, they score the bout, then they add up the points per each one, and then that's how you win. As far as the divisions, we'll go ahead and go into that. They kind of vary. I mean, you've got anything from a straw weight, which would be like 110 pounds, a flyweight, which is like 130 pounds, a featherweight, which is 140 pounds. You've got a lightweight, which is 155, a welterweight, which is 170, a middleweight, 185, and then you got a light heavyweight, which is 200, and then you got a cruiserweight, which is 215. Pretty much after that you've got heavyweight, and it's pretty much 215 and above. So a cruiserweight and a heavyweight, you can kind of fall in the same category. So as far as that goes, we'll go ahead and move on to the next part, which would be kind of the training. As in any sport, cage fighting has a very brutal training. I mean, you're constantly training like boxing. You've got your ring time, where you're in there practicing your grappling, your wrestling, whatever it might be your art is. Not only that, you've got your weightlifting. Normally, for me, when I was in it, I spent about a normal work day in the gym, anywhere from 6 to 8 hours, and that was on a regular basis. I do my weightlifting, I do my cardio, things like that. So I mean, you're always constantly, it's basically a job. I mean, you were having to stay in shape, because if not, you could seriously get injured. Of course, you want to be on a perfect diet. You want to go ahead and get the appropriate amount of carbs. You don't want to eat too much fatty foods. Make sure you take plenty of vitamins to keep you going as far as your energy, things like that. Another part of the training, of course, is your discipline. It being a brutal training, you have to be dedicated to the sport. You have to be able to go in there, have a focused mind, say, I'm going to get it done, and I'm going to go ahead and do this and do that. You have to be disciplined, because if not, I can guarantee you guys, or girls, there are girls in MMA or cage fighting, you wouldn't last. If you don't have the discipline to go through what you need to go through, the harsh training, the diets, things like that, you won't last. So I mean, that was always a key for me, is the discipline. And of course, like I said earlier, the exercises, you're getting in your weights, you're getting your cardios, things like that. Those are all factors that contribute to it. Now, as far as the conclusion to this, because I know I've been talking for quite a while, what cage fighting brought into my life is the discipline. It showed me how to be patient, how to not take advantage of things, take my time, be dedicated and work hard. And so that I loved about the sport. The reason why I quit is because one fight, of course, I got knocked out, and when I woke up, I had a slit across my mouth, which went all the way through. So you could see my teeth through my bottom lip. I could kind of stick my tongue through it, which was kind of gross, and that kind of opened my eye that how I didn't want my face to be all mantled. So after 15 stitches outside and 12 stitches inside, I decided to go ahead and just say, hey, you know what, I tried it, I brought something out, which has made me the person I am today. So that is my video about martial arts. I hope you guys liked it. I hope I was informative enough, and I will see y'all next time. Thank you.